Hi everyone, in this video I just want to say how much I love Canon. Although many of you will see a lot of my photography is done with Nikon, I actually have two Canon cameras. In fact, what I'm shooting with just now is the Canon 550D, or in America it's called the T2i, I think. But I also had, I originally started with Canon, but nowadays, although I use Nikon mainly, I absolutely love Canon, and for a couple of reasons. Okay, and those reasons are, well, first of all, I think Nikon's the best for flash photography with its CLS system and its ease of use of how you can use even up to the Nikon D700 with the pop-up flash to be able to control loads of other flashes. So, flash-wise, I still think Nikon wins. Although Canon's new flash stuff I think is pretty good as well, it's just not quite as easy to use. Nikon probably also wins with his wide angles, like if you go for that brilliant one, this 14 to 24, that kind of beats every kind of Canon wide angle lens. But anyway, what I'm saying is what's great about Canon, and that is its video. For like so many people I've heard have been with Nikon and then they've done some Canon stuff video-wise, and then they've just gone, that's amazing, and they've ditched all their Nikon equipment and gone and started working purely with Canon. So it's not just my opinion, it's what a lot of people that I know use, and most of my friends are probably with Canon as well. Canon is brilliant with its sports optics. Certainly it does a lot of sponsorship with a lot of sports photographers for doing all their, like, especially in America, like the football and the basketball and all that kind of stuff. Canon is brilliant with its just its pricing and its aggressive marketing that it does. For example, the Canon 5D Mark II it's had a whole bunch of upgrades, but it's also still cheaper than the Nikon D700, which doesn't have video, doesn't have nearly as many pixels. Okay, it's got much better ISO and possibly maybe a bit better dynamic range, but and it's also got the pop-up flash, and it's probably got faster frames per second. But the Canon 5D Mark II is an amazing camera, and you know, I would say it's fantastic. Canon also wins probably with the most possibilities of lenses. Like Nikon's got a huge catalogue of lenses, Canon's got a huge one as well, but I think Canon's just got a little bit more options, especially if you're looking at the 70 to 200mm lens. With Canon you've got 4 different types, VR, or IS, non-IS, 2.8 or f4s, so that's always pretty cool, just that amount of option that you've got. But the main thing that I love about Canon just now is its video. Like for example, this camera just now, it can do 60 frames a second at 720p, which is high definition, and it can also do 30 frames a second at full HD, which is the 1080p. It also can do it 25 or 24 frames a second. So 25 is great if you're under PAL style lighting like I have in here, where you need that 25 frames a second. Or if you're in America and you're under NTSC, that's where you need the 30 frames a second. And again, with you're in the high definition of just 720p, you've got 60 or 50 frames a second, which is very handy to have that option. And having all those options in your camera is brilliant. So yeah, I think Canon is really, really good at that. I really appreciate how much effort Canon's putting into all its cameras. And also it puts out lots of new cameras all the time. For example, with Nikon, we've really been waiting for the D700 replacement to come out for a long time. You may be watching this in the future and it's already come out and everyone thinks it's amazing and it's beaten every Canon camera there is. But just in general, that with Canon you don't really have to wait that long. I think the 5D Mark II has been out for a good 2 years now, and everyone's expecting the 5D Mark III or maybe a 6D or a 3D or something like that. But generally the lower end, you've got lots of cameras coming out all the time, from the 550 to the 6D to the 7D. I'm probably thinking about the 7D Mark II is going to be coming out quite soon as well. But all that combined together, one of the biggest reasons why I love Canon, and why I love Canon being so good and taking people away from Nikon, is that it's making a lot of Nikon shooters sell all their equipment. So just now, you can go to a lot of shops, or if you know people that are maybe interested in video and have had Canon and Nikon stuff, they're more likely to be selling their Nikon equipment. For example, just today I am potentially buying a 70 to 200mm lens for under £1,000, which 1 year ago would have been impossible. You'd never have got that apart from one that is totally battered. But the guy that's selling it, he is saying, yep, I've had it, used it a little bit, but I've now moved to Canon and I'm doing all videos now. So it's like, brilliant, score. So that's one of the best things about Canon being so good. Means a lot of Nikon shooters are selling their stuff, and if you're a Nikon devotee, you can get a lot of lenses and cameras for a pretty cheap price, thanks to Nikon being awesome. Canon being awesome. But anyway, both have their pros and cons, and I know a lot of people who've been with Canon who aren't really that interested in video and are coming to Nikon because they love the high ISO and they love the fast frames per second and a whole bunch of other things. But yeah, that was just my little thought for the day. Hope that helps. Bye bye.